Hi, my name is Mark Christensen, and this is my TWS RP Interpretation and Reflection Report for my school, Rites of Passage at Morrison, Colorado. I've worked here for a little over 2.5 years. It's a severe needs effective special education classroom, meaning most of the kids have experienced elaborate levels of trauma, and it's important for me to not only give them the skills and apply them to their academics, to what they need, but to make them emotional, responsible actors in their day-to-day lives. A big part of it in severe needs effective classroom is that, like I just mentioned, the social emotional development and the well-being of the student prior to academics. Sometimes this can be frustrating for the parents and the foster parents who seem to think they want to pretend that their child is normal, and that normal in the way that as they gauge other kids, but not suffering from trauma. And it can be a little jarring for them to come to class and see how much time we actually spend just keeping them calm, just letting them complete simple tasks and build confidence. It's a slow process, but nonetheless, it's what we do. The unit overview for what I did, I taught a language arts unit on American Revolutionary using crossword puzzles, creative writing, and other reading theme-oriented teaching schools. So that's anything that we did was related to the American Revolutionary War, from vocabulary building to writing stories to the book that we read. And then we related topics from our daily news reports and tried to relate it to that and say, and show that the America really hasn't changed all that much. So they're able to look out their window, see the history, see what it's turned into, and see how the ideas of the American Revolution still remain today. The greatest positive coming from it was the increase in spelling and grammar and syntax gains in all participating students. Though there is some limitations with their low IQ and their processing and their intellectual and social emotional disabilities, they were able to increase their spelling speed, increase their ability to recall a word and rewrite a word, which was rewarding and refreshing for me. Based on student performance, the greatest growth the students exhibited by the end of the unit of instruction was the ability to write a paragraph with less than 0 to 6 errors. It's nearly impossible for them not to make an error considering their low IQ rates, but the fact that they were able to write and structure a paragraph from first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and last points, and capitalizing and making minor correct grammatical errors. There's still spelling errors and processing errors that they still made, but nonetheless, that was one of the greatest gains. The greatest learning experience for teaching my unit was using daily tests to improve assessment and student self-esteem. I used to think that soft teaching method that I do use didn't mean that I had to grade them. I just let them write their papers and I give them their check plus, check minus, or a check to show that they finished it. So the idea that they got the satisfaction of completing it. But I found if you do measure them in content on an a multiple choice test or true false test, it does measure the content and they do respond positively to that. The experience of teaching severe needs effective over the years has reinforced my faith that people have value, and being a teacher is the most important public service there is in our modern society. And that didn't change at the conclusion of this. The teaching experience impacted my biblical worldview and professional life by exacting a refined purpose of compassion to all in need, to set aside your own selfish ambitions and your own and interpretations of who you think that person should be, but looking at that person in the face and accepting them for the person that they are and all their God-given redeeming values is something that I hope to not only teach my students, but those around me, and for me to continue practicing in my own life.